Right, hello, lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today we've got a bit to talk about. We've got to talk about some transfer news today regarding Celtic's left-back spot, and our Japanese boys appear to be making the headline in the Japanese media. Before we go any further though, if you guys are enjoying the content during this off-season, you want to help support the channel, the best way to do so is to click the like button, click the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers before Ange Ball returns, so I appreciate each and every one of you who do that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, Celtic's left-back spot has been a spot where we've already had two links so far this off-season, Mohamed Jeze and Francisco Ortega. But now a third has been linked, and he actually plays with Henrik Larsson's son, Jordan Larsson. It's AIK's left-back, Erik Otieno. Now, according to Swedish football outlet Football Direct, Celtic have identified the 25-year-old Kenyan international as a potential contender for Greg Taylor's left-back spot. Now, he was on the outer last season at AIK. Now, he hasn't obviously been, someone who's consistently been putting up great numbers every season. He was on the outer last year. And he's actually so much on the outer that he was on the transfer list for the club. But this season has seen him go into a bit of resurgence. In the first 15 games of the season, he has made appearances in every single game, started almost every single game. He has 8 clean sheets, 1 goal and 1 assist to go along with it. And he's decent at the ball with his feet, don't get me wrong, and he's exceptionally quick. That's probably the main prowess of his game, is that he is lightning. Not Lightning McQueen, but he is certainly lightning. But the thing is that he can pick out a pass when he needs to and pick out a very good cross, but it is so inconsistent. Not to mention he's had very little first team experience, and not to mention no European experience either. But the main issue is the consistency, without a doubt. And that's the issue I have with a lot of players who always get linked to Celtic. They have these short, sharp bursts of talent, but they can't put it out on a consistent game-to-game basis. And personally, I don't want to see Celtic sign Erik Otieno. But let's say hypothetically, completely hypothetically speaking, that on the table, Mohamed Jeze, Francisco Ortega, and Erik Otieno, we can sign them all for the same price, for the same wages. I don't even have Otieno in that conversation. I think, he's had a cracking couple of games for AIK, but, it's just, I think if he comes to Celtic, I don't think he provides the competition necessary for someone like Greg Taylor. And to add to that, I don't think we could rely on him on a Champions League night. Now that's not to say that Ortega and Jeze are of a Champions League quality right now, but they certainly are much closer to it than Otieno is. And look, I'll be completely honest, and I know I'm being so negative right now, and I know that isn't a great vibe, but I'd even rather have Adam Montgomery start at left back than Otieno. And, heading into the main issue with our left back spot is heading into the Champions League. I still don't believe Greg Taylor will be a sufficient option to have at left back. I believe he will be found out, and I believe that he will be embarrassed in the Champions League by some. And I know there are some teams in Europe who are leaps and bounds ahead of Celtic, but I certainly do believe that if the Bodo Glimt tie is anything to go by, Greg Taylor is in for a nightmare of 6 group stage matches. But back to Otieno, I know this could be completely empty rumours with no solidity to them, but certainly if this is the type of player Celtic are getting linked to, I, for one, am just getting a bit worried. We can do loads better. We have the money now. We have the attraction of Champions League football. This isn't the sort of player we should be attracting. We can do better. That's all I'm saying. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna back Ange's judgment. Without a doubt, if he wants to bring someone to the club, I'm gonna expect that they are gonna be of a decent to high quality, because that's just the trust I have in Ange right now. But from what I've seen of Otieno so far, I just don't see how he fits into the Celtic jersey. Elsewhere in the Celtic news, Two of Celtic's Japanese stars, Kyogo and Reo Hatate, have been in the Japanese media talking about their Celtic career so far. And we'll start with Kyogo. He's spoken to the Japanese media prior to the international friendlies, as Japan have already qualified for the World Cup. He said, "It seems like it was a long year, but it ended so quickly. So it was a very fulfilling, but I think I still have a lot of work to do. I realized that I still have a lot of growing up to do. As I played the games, I had a sense that my strengths were working. I am able to score goals because many players connect with me in front of goal. I myself am only in a position to score goals by receiving passes, so I am grateful for the support of those around me." And he's speaking the truth. He knows his game is centered completely around, his movement, and he's not a striker who beats 3 or 4 men. He receives the ball once he's moved past 3 or 4 players off the ball, and just placing himself in positions to score. And if I was getting the reception that that Celtic's able to give him, I'd be hailing them in the media as well, and I'd be very grateful for that. And he could have loads more goals, and I think that's the one aspect of Kyogo's game I really want to see improvement in next season. This season was phenomenal, and he clearly is a clinical striker in front of net. That is the reason why he was Celtic's top goal scorer this season. But if he can work on his efficiency in front of net, I just think he could take his game to a whole nother level, and he could really solidify himself as Celtic's starting striker. Because right now, I honestly believe it is a coin toss. It is a complete coin toss between him and Giakoumakis as to who you start at striker when both are fit. They both provide so much in their own respective games, It's... And every single Celtic fan has a differing opinion on it. There is no... Right now, I'm going to come out and say there is no definitive answer. You can't tell me right now that you could 100% start Giakoumakis over Kyogo and vice versa. But because they're both so talented, they both have little areas of their game I'm sure they can work on. And, for Kyogo specifically, that efficiency in front of net, not making waste of valuable chances, is going to be crucial to Celtics next season, especially in the Champions League, because we won't get as many opportunities as we do in the league. So yeah, that's just one little thing for Kyogo for me, but still, plaudits to him. Incredible season of traveling halfway across the world, a completely new environment. To have the impact he's had this season is phenomenal, without a doubt. And as for Reo Hatate, he's sort of just living in his own little wonderland right now. He won the league in Japan. He came over to Scotland. He's won the league here as well. And he spoke about that in an interview, saying it was amazing to win the J-League for the second time in a row. Then go to Celtic, who were competing for the championship. I feel really blessed, and I think I need to thank my teammates. And this year at Celtic, he's shown his class. In many opportunities, especially at the start of this year, he showed his class. No moment more memorable than that first half against Rangers at Celtic Park. With him even he's claimed that he honestly believes he might have had God on his side that night. But he's also speculated on the performance, saying that as good as it was, it has had his repercussions in the league. Now, speaking exclusively, quoted by The Sun, he said, "But I think people played against me differently after that match. The marking became tighter, more physical. Players could catch me on the ankle more when they were going for the ball. I think the opponents watched the game and thought, I have to do this now." For me, though, I think that's one of the best things that could have happened to Reo Hatate. I think having that stellar start and then having a bit of a form slump, best thing that could have happened to someone like him. It's going to force him to improve his game and to adapt to Scottish football and to take it up another level, because that's the main thing for footballers. If they want to go to that next level, their own game has to improve as well. And I have no doubt if he can improve his game, he will 100% go back to that dominant midfielder, it's just the midfielder he was when he signed for this club, and the star he was. Because he still is a star. He had a form slump. I can't blame him. 18 months of consistent football, it's going to 100% take the toll on your body, especially when you go from somewhere like the J-League to such a physical league like Scotland, And not to mention, for like the 4th time this video, the Champions League, if Rio wants to be starting in those European nights, and if he has to take his game to another level, because the top quality European teams will always find you out. So you need to improve to make it more difficult for them, essentially. Because we only play 2 games against them. It's not like we're playing them week in, week out. But that is all from me. So I think I've rambled on enough this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Sort of looked at how our lads are going in the media, sort of looked at some transfer news. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on the left back situation at Celtic and all these rumours. And until next time, hail, hail.